Now, years ago, we used to joke around, and somebody asked, "Where's Willow Springs, Illinois?" We would say, "You go to the end of the world and take a left." I used to hang out and party in Willow Springs back in the 80s. On the left, you got the mayor, old Doc. This guy was one of the most corrupt mayors in the United States. He was very good friends with the man on the right, Chicago made guy, First Ward Alderman Pat Marcy. Now, going back to the 70s throughout the 80s, this was kind of one of Michael Corbett and some of his mob guy associates' hangouts. Was the Sunoco gas station on Archer Avenue in Summit. My dad used to warn me all the time to stay away from this place. However, I would definitely sneak up there every chance I could. But this is where guys like Sam Giancana, Sal Bastone, and his brothers, and Corbett would all meet. Now here's Sal Bastone, one of the Bastone brothers, made members of the Chicago outfit. This guy was kind of the conduit between Michael Corbett and some of the outfit guys. They were good friends. Michael Corbett talks about him a lot in his book, and he talks about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they made and all the coin-operated amusement games. Sal Bastone. Here's Sam Momo Giancana, boss of the Chicago outfit, going back to the golden years. He actually appointed Michael Corbett as police chief in Willow Springs. He actually landed him that cush job, and he warned him, don't forget who your friends are. According to Michael Corbett, Sam Giancana, and all the outfit guys love Michael Corbett. I'm not sure if I believe that. Now here's a mugshot of the late, great, legendary Grand Avenue crew leader, Joey the Clown Lombardo. Michael Corbett's book and in all his interviews, he would rave that all the Chicago outfit guys loved him, except this man. Joey despised and hated Michael Corbett and let everybody know in the Grand Avenue neighborhood and all his associates that Corbett could not be trusted. There's an older photo back in the good times. On the left, you got Diane Masters, and on the right, her corrupt defense attorney, Alan Masters, her husband. These two were somewhat of a hot couple back in the day. They used to party and socialize with all the movers and shakers in Chicago. Over time, they eventually had a fallout due to infidelity, and Diane Masters disappeared in 1982. Now, Alan Masters and his wife Diane Masters were socialites. They used to party and rub shoulders with several Chicago outfit heavyweights, celebrities, professional athletes, politicians, and other socialites. They used to go down to Rush Street, hang out at the Ritz-Carlton, party at the Chez Paul, the Ambassador East Hotel. These guys were quite a couple back in the day. Now, a lot of us that grew up in the southwest suburb may have attended Moraine Valley Community College in Palos for maybe a year or two. Diane Masters was on the board of directors at Moraine Valley College. She ended up having an affair with one of her board member directors. That started the downfall of her marriage to Alan Masters and eventually led to her demise. Now, the main defendant in the conspiracy case to kill Diane Masters was her husband, Alan Masters. I heard from numerous sources that this guy was a real lowlife back in the day. He was a corrupt defense attorney, used to rub elbows with several Chicago outfit guys and their associates. Aside from the conspiracy charge, he was also charged with bribery and a kickback scheme. Now, here's a little black book that Diane Masters kept. She was going to use this against her husband during the divorce, and she threatened to expose him. In here had several Chicago outfit member contact names, as well as crooked judges, crooked cops, and all Alan Masters' scumbag friends. After she was killed, him and James Keating disposed of this book. Unfortunately, I actually knew this guy in the 80s as a young teenager. Luckily, I never had any problems with him, but he definitely would bully us teenagers, throw us around, and even kind of smack us around a little bit. We all hated him and despised him and would talk shit about him behind his back. He was actually a cooperating witness in the Diane Masters murder trial, charged with conspiracy. Alan Masters pleaded with him if he could kill his wife. Each time he refused. Diane Masters was actually married when she first met Alan Masters. Her husband was away doing a tour in Vietnam. Alan Masters schmoozed her, and at first she became his mistress. And it didn't take her long to realize what type of man she was involved with all his crooked dealings from credit card scams, prostitution, kickbacks, bribery. She threatened to divorce him. She was going to expose it all. And 9 months after she went missing, her body was pulled from the canal. Now, according to the prosecutor and Michael Corbett's testimony, Alan Masters was reaching out to him, James Keating, several outfit associates, and pretty much anybody that would take the job. He was offering $25,000 for someone to kill his wife. Everybody knew of the plot. Michael Corbett refused, but did agree to dump her dead body, which he eventually cooperated to and was found guilty of. There we got Chet's Melody Lounge, somewhat of a legendary bar right across the street from Resurrection Mary. And rumor has it that this bar is haunted by the ghost of Resurrection Mary. This is the bar where Michael Corbett testified that he picked up the car with Diane Masters' body in the trunk. It had a flat tire, and he drove her from Justice to Willow Springs to dump it. Corbett testified that he participated in dumping the car, the body, into the canal. That was his role in the conspiracy to kill Diane Masters. When he picked up the car at Chet's Melody Lounge in Justice, to his surprise, the car had a flat tire. He panicked, but he drove slowly from Justice to Willow Springs, which is a very short drive. Knowing the body was in the trunk, he dumped it, and he remembered how slow it took the car to sink. Now here's one of the canals in Willow Springs right off of Archer Avenue. And Michael Corbett, several of his cohorts and mob guys would use this canal as a dumping ground. They would dump bodies in here, stolen cars, evidence from crime scenes. And this is the canal where then they eventually found a very dead Diane Masters in the trunk of her car. Now, years ago, they used the canal there off Archer Avenue in Willow Springs as a dumping ground. Several cars were dumped there. I remember one day during the Family Secrets trial, I was talking to Mitch Mars, the prosecutor's mother, who grew up in Willow Springs, and she said to me, "I'll never forget when they pulled that car out of the canal." She was referring to Diane Masters' car that was pulled out of the canal where she was found in the trunk. Now, back in my day, everybody in the southwest suburbs, they knew Diane Masters. And they all talked about her death for years. Unfortunately, she ended up falling in love and marrying the wrong man. And her infidelity and threats ended up costing her her life. The autopsy report showed her skull was fractured and she had 2 shots to the head. Now, the number 2 defendant who actually participated in the murder of Diane Masters was crooked Cook County Sheriff James Keating. Alan Masters offered him $25,000. As soon as she walked in the house, he crushed her skull with a crowbar, and then Alan Masters shot her twice in the head, killing her. He was charged in the actual murder, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, bribery, and kickbacks. Now, no one was actually charged in the actual murder of Diane Masters. However, the judge found all 3 defendants, Corbett, James Keating, and Alan Masters, guilty of conspiracy to kill Diane Masters. Keating and Corbett got 20 years each. Alan Masters was convicted in 1986, received 40 years in prison, had to do his time in Rochester, Minnesota, where he eventually died at the age of 65 in 1989. Here's top defense attorney Patrick Tewitt. I've seen this gentleman in court several times at the Dirksen Federal Building. He represented Conrad Black in several Chicago outfit heavyweights back in the day. He also represented corrupt chief of police Michael Corbett and actually got him a reduced sentence during the trial. Now, shortly after Michael Corbett was sprung from jail, he wrote this book, Double Deal. This is about his life as a Summit police officer, chief of police, Willow Springs corrupt cop, and his associate in business dealings with the Chicago outfit. It's actually a pretty good book with some pretty cool pictures. I would definitely recommend this book. However, I think he embellished a bit. I don't believe everything in it, but overall, it's a pretty good read. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Thanks again for listening to my Chicago mob trials. Hope you guys are enjoying them. Hope everybody's staying warm, staying safe. If you like my stories, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support. You know, I'm old school. I'm still learning how to create, post, and edit videos, and I appreciate